How did you become Mufti Menk?
My father is actually a scholar and an imam in the, well, he was an imam in the main masjid in Zimbabwe. At the time, Rhodesia, the capital was Salisbury. Then after the independence, the name changed to Zimbabwe and the capital became Harare. And so we grew up in a compound of the masjid initially with watching, my father do what he does and so on. And he was quite disciplined. I grew up from a young age learning the Quran, together with school, memorized the Quran, and then started studying some Islamic books. The idea was I wanted to always be an ophthalmologist. And mashallah, I got sent to some of the best schools. Like the high school I went to was absolutely, still is a very good school. And so by the time I graduated from there, I had a lot of Islamic knowledge. And I was still pursuing my dream career of becoming an ophthalmologist. And my father had carefully planned in a way that I would receive an acceptance letter from Medina Munawwara to say you're accepted. And I was like surprised because I hadn't applied, but he applied with some of his friends. And at that time, it was relatively easy to get in. And because I had already studied Islam in quite a bit of depth by that age, of 17, I ended up going to Medina Munawwara because my father said, look, I know you want to become a doctor, so to speak, but go and see Medina. You can't reject it. You're a Muslim, it's come to you. It's not like you going to it. And so he spoke me into going. I ended up going there and mashallah, I didn't come back. Even though there was a little miracle that happened, is the day that I was feeling like, I'm missing home and I want to go. That's the day the lecturer was teaching us a hadith that says Medina is pure and pure is attracted to it and filth actually quits and leaves. And I was like, is this a message for me? And I stayed, and mashallah, no regrets, because Allah had something for us. When I graduated, I specialized in Hanafi jurisprudence in India. I came back home and I was elected the head of the fatwa department, which is the mufti of the country. And this was very early. And I remember saying, look, I'm not a mufti per se. I'm just a person who mentions the fatwa of other muftis, the seniors. We relate what the seniors have said. But mashallah, it started and then it caught, because at that time, I got involved with some radio stations. It was still prior to the social media. And then I got involved with a TV station. And then when social media came in, at a certain point, it's a long story, but I got involved with that too. And this was very early, 2005. And it just grew. And I remember, because September 11 had happened, and that was one of the biggest things that happened, where the Muslims were put under the spotlight after September 11, if you recall, and they were looking at us as though we're all evil people and the religion teaches evil and so on. And I made it my business to go out of my way to try and reach the haters, to try and reach people who don't approve of us and don't like us, and at least let them have a message that makes them realize that we are actually following a heavenly faith and we're decent people. And so that's what I did. And I remained consistent. And so someone who comes today in 2024 and looks at the way I use Twitter and Facebook and starts saying, but why does he do this? But why does he do that? They need to know there's a history behind it.